Namaskar, hello and welcome to this yet another exclusive and special episode of IndiGlobal EduTalks. IndiGlobal EduTalks is brought to you by IndiGlobal Media Network that takes innovation, collaboration and growth to the forefront.
The journey began in the year 1992. Our milestone that we are focusing on, Strategic Vision Plan 2030. At least 10,000 students mobilization, which is our fourth aspect of our strategic vision plan. Hearing the common thing, industry academia gap.
We are joined by yet another senior educationist who is the registrar with Garden City University, Bangalore. We'll get to know more about the university's vision and the kind of milestone progress it has seen. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sibi Shaji, who is the registrar with Garden City University. Welcome, ma'am. Thanks for joining us for this special episode of IndiGlobal EduTalks. Ma'am, we would like to know your vision, at the same time the kind of milestones that Garden City University has set for itself in the coming few years.
That's a very good question.
When I speak about the milestones of Garden City University,
the journey began in the year 1992, and by 2013, coming up to the status of Garden City University itself is the biggest milestone that I would consider. And moving ahead in the future, we have already paved a way. We call it as Strategic Vision Plan 2030. So by 2030, what is it that we are supposed to achieve is something that we have already planned and we have paved. So if I talk about the Strategic Vision Plan 2030, which would later on turn out to be our milestone, we have planned it in a broad category of 5 different aspects. So the first aspect, so when I speak about the teaching and learning process, when I say dynamic curriculum, it is not just syllabus that we have and we teach the students and the students write the examination and clear their examination, but something beyond that. We have an industry collaborations when we set up the syllabus. So we have a dynamic curriculum depending on the requirement of the industry. We have the authority, we have the approvals to change our syllabus and get the necessary approvals for the batches as well. So that is why I called it as the dynamic curriculum. Apart from that, we don't just believe in the class of 4-walled classroom teaching. Beyond that, we talk about something called PEQ, that is practical exposure quotient, as well as the joy of learning. I believe that both goes hand in hand, because practical exposure quotient, like this an interview that we have, we put our students here on job, so they get a practical exposure of such kind of learning than teaching how to take an interview in the classroom. So this is what we try to help them out. And because the students learn out of experience, the joy of learning joins, it actually follows. So the students enjoy their studies. You can see that happiness within the students. So this is what we are focusing on when I say teaching and learning process. And also we have another concept called ARM concept, ARM, which stands for Ambition, Resources and Mentoring. So when we say ambition, resources and mentoring, there are students who come to us with high ambition. There are students who are mediocre, they have not set their ambition. There are students who do not know what the ambitions are. There's different kinds of students come to us. So we as mentors, we as facilitators, we help them out to create their own ambitions. And we provide necessary resources for them, and we also mentor them. What is good for you? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? How can you overcome your weaknesses and those weaknesses, how can it become your strength? So this is what we try to mentor. So this is called the ARM concept, which we follow in our teaching learning process. So this is one major area that we are focusing on in our Strategic Vision Plan 2030. Coming to the industry integration, as I said before, we do not have a blunt syllabus of just teaching them what the basic things and sending them. So we are identifying what is the requirement of the industry and bridging that gap. So any educational institutions, when you see, you must be hearing the common thing, industry academia gap. So we are trying to fix that gap by providing more internships, more collaborative projects to students, and thereby filling that gap. There is no industry academia gap. So when they are doing their course itself, when they are studying itself, they get an exposure to work in an organization. We have say around 100 days of internship. It is mandatory for every student to take up that internship. So what happens is that industry academia gap is filled. So this is what we are focusing on when we say industry integration in the future strategic vision plan 2030. And coming to internationalization and globalization, Garden City University is known for internationalization and global education. For example, if I say recently had a program which we called it as Global Certificate Program. So we had a tie-up, Garden City University had a tie-up with UCJC University in Madrid, Spain. So the students from UCJC and the students from Garden City University had they had master classes where our faculty members taught their students, those faculty members taught our students, and the students were combined, the students of UCJC and Garden City University combined together, and they formed different groups of a mixed group, and they did some few projects which the students learnt a lot, which in a classroom teaching I do not know how much a teacher could have delivered, how a global education could be. So but then with this kind of experiential learning, the students learnt a lot. So we have tie-up with many universities abroad in other countries, and in the future also we have few universities in the pipeline where we are trying to have MOU with, where we will have a student exchange program, faculty exchange program. So all these are in the pipeline, which would turn out to be our milestone by 2030. Coming to the student mobilization, which is our fourth aspect of our strategic vision plan, we have students right from the admission, not just until their convocation, not just finishing of their degree and walking out after convocation. Even after that, for the alumni reconnect, we try to, it is like a kind of cycle. So the students after graduation also, they come back if they require any kind of help with respect to entrepreneurship, with respect to placements. If they still need assistance from their alma mater, we are more than happy to help them out. So this is like a cycle. So the student mobilization, we are a student centric university who we are here to help our students. We want to see our students at greater heights. So that is our motto, and the motto of our university is emphasis on life. So the students, their life, their future is our priority. And you know, by 2030, our another milestone is that by 2030 we should have not less than 10,000 students enrolled for our university. So that is our vision plan, and we are working towards that. Coming to research and innovation, that is our another aspect of our strategic vision plan. We have different concepts: research, innovation, consultancy, entrepreneurship, and extension activities. So all these as a separate wing in Garden City University, we are concentrating more on that, so that the research and innovation also have a stronger upper hand when it comes to our milestone that we are focusing on. So these are the broad 5 areas which I told you in a nutshell about our milestone in the future.
Amazing, and we are glad to know the kind of, it has, Garden City University has a visionary approach. At the same time, it is also focusing on beyond the class learning and teaching. That's wonderful. Would you like to tell us about the strength of the students and the teaching faculty or the administration that Garden City University has?
Right now we have close to 3,000 students in our campus and more than 200 staff who is working with us as of now. So we are in the process of growing. By 2030 the number will go, as I said, will go up to at least 10,000 students enrolling with us, and accordingly the ratio of our faculty teaching and non-teaching, our staff also will increase.
Amazing, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing the insights in the education and the initiatives of Garden City University. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Time in the year 1992 was the birth of Garden City, because we understand the world is going digital. It's a legacy of 30 years. PMSCB is basically the core committee at Garden City University. We always wanted our students to have the digital platform. We were one of the first universities in India to implement NEP 2020.
Namaskar. We are joined by yet another education administrator and a professor in the field of education from the Garden City University in Bangalore. We are joined by Professor Sanchita Majumdar. She is member of PMSEB and our coordinator of languages and cultural coordinator of Garden City University. Welcome, Ms. Majumdar. We would like to know, first of all, do tell us about PMSEB. What does it stand for?
Okay, so PMSEB is basically the core committee at Garden City University. So we plan, we monitor, we evaluate, we do all the statistical data at Garden City University, starting from the administration to the admission to the academic sector, everything we look into. So that would be the board.
Oh, great. We would like to know Garden City University, when was it established and its vision and mission, and how far did it progress till now?
So it's a legacy of 30 years. So it's a long time. In the year 1992 was the birth of Garden City College of Management and Science, and from then it's been 30 long years, and so much has happened. So I think in this very brief interview I will be able to tell you only about the milestones, but you can always go to our website and check out the even the bigger milestones. In 1995 we were the first institution to start off with the program called physiotherapy in Bangalore. We have had 3 consecutive years of grade A from Naik. In 2013, the Karnataka legislation passed the GCU Act, and we are a university now. In 2017, we started off with our first batch at the Silver Jubilee celebration of Garden City University. In 2019, we had our first convocation. And very interestingly, 2021 saw even bigger leap. We were one of the first universities in India to implement NEP 2020. So all our courses are NEP integrated, and I think that is a much bigger stone. And in this 30 years of legacy, as I told you, I can talk to you about few things, but most of it you can just look at, everything is history.
Amazing. There is yet another question we would like to ask you. In this age of rapid digital transformation, even during the COVID times, the digital transformation, especially in higher education, has seen a growth or a transformation many multifolds. COVID waves pandemic has catalyzed that transformation. We would like to know, where does the Garden City University stand in embracing the digital technology and its integration?
For answering this question, I'll talk to you about the mission and vision of Garden City University. If you look into our mission and vision, our only aim is to give quality education
and affordable education to all sects of the society, be it a student coming from any part of India or globally. Right now we have students of 81 different countries with us who have chosen Garden City University as their homes. So going by our mission and vision, I am very proud to say that when the pandemic struck us, we were the first university to digitalize all our classes, include not just our theoretical classes, because most of the educational institutions have conducted theoretical classes wherein it would be a Google Meet or an MS Teams class, but we have simulated our laboratory classes as well. All our lab classes pertaining to the science subjects or the management subjects were transformed into a digital space. We took up MS Teams as one of our platforms for delivering classes, and even before the pandemic, it's almost 2 decades where our students having this digital platform. We always wanted our students to have the digital platform. We have the inbuilt in-house digital platform wherein students would do their assignments, they can take up their examinations, and we have this legacy of online examination for some courses for a very long period of time. What the pandemic did was the pandemic pushed us even more. And with that, we have our own LMS, our learning management system in place, and everything starting from a student who is inquiring with Garden City University till a student who goes out of Garden City University, everything is done on a digital platform. Not just theoretical and practical classes, we also make sure, even now when the pandemic is a little bit relaxed, we have started off with our offline classes. Right now till date, we have students wherein we give them certain package of education, life lessons, skill development lessons through the online mode. We make sure that all students of Garden City University has basic IT knowledge. They are equipped with the computers. We have labs and practicals in each and every program at Garden City University, because we understand the world is going digital. We cannot really sit back and use paper and pen. So our students are equipped with everything.
Amazing. Thank you very much for taking on time and joining us for this very special episode of IndiGlobal EduTalks.
That itself shows our vision here. Their members will interview our students, whoever has the aptitude and the keenness to work in that particular domain, curate the curriculum and focuses on skill development, research innovation. That's a great thing which is happening. But as you rightly told, still we have a lot of challenges and we are talking about transformation of life here. Quality education and industry, thanks to IndiGlobal.
Today we are in the Silicon Valley of India, Bangalore, from the state of Karnataka, and it is also known as Garden City, and we are connecting with you from the Garden City University in Bangalore, and we are joined by leader. She has decades of rich experience in the field of IT and ITS sector. We can say she is from the industry for last 30 years. At the same time, she is a PhD holder. Currently, she is serving as the Vice Chancellor of Garden City University. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Vandana Hegde. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us.
Thank you very much for welcoming us here and conducting this interview. Thanks to IndiGlobal for coming to our campus, interviewing us and taking this good initiative. This will be a very good approach to reach out to all the students who are aspiring to understand about education.
Wonderful, ma'am. When I came to know that you have been in the industry sector for last 30 years and a person from the industry joining a educational institution, a university as a Vice Chancellor is something interesting, and it also shows the vision of the university towards the industry academia collaboration. We would like to know from you, in this fast evolving ecosystem where industry skills are much needed and up to date in the modern world, we would like to know, where does Garden City University stand in the industry academia collaboration and the skills for the students?
As you rightly told, shows our vision, the vision of our Chancellor Joseph Sir, that we should be industry ready. Education should be industry integrated. So he has chosen me to provide my best practices and the skills which I have learned from the industry to integrate the industry and the campus. That itself shows our vision here. Coming to what is our readiness from our university, what are the strategical approaches we have towards industry integration. The first thing I would like to inform is that our curriculum is always industry oriented and industry centric. Since I would like to go a little about how our future education should be. In this education is moving towards the mandate today is to move towards more and more people. We are disrupting the demography here and reaching to the urban and rural people through digitalization. And the major focus of our government is also to reach out to many more and skill development and entrepreneurship. This is the slogan of late. So in this context, we also what we are trying to do to bridge this gap is to bring a industry oriented curriculum. We involve the industry in the curriculum. We call it as board of studies. Always our board of study members are from the industry and the major institutes. We curate the curriculum accordingly and then we roll it out. And every semester we rework on it. So the curriculum is on par with the industry requirement. Now, this is the first move or the first step we are doing. The second interesting step what we are practicing here is industry collaborated education, or we call it as industry immersion programs. What we mean by this is the industry itself, we are tying up with the industry, we are signing a MOU with the industry and they join hands in the first semester itself. It's not at the fag end we go on the 6th semester and we say this is our ready food, you now do some garnishing and then use it. We don't do that here. We try to cook as per your palate. This is our interesting model we have. So here the industry comes to our campus, their members will interview our students, whoever has the aptitude and the keenness to work in that particular domain, we do the interview, select them and then groom them accordingly. Entire requirement is given by the syllabus is given by the industry, the particular corporate, and this we do it in every discipline, be it computers, psychology or life sciences. As you know, we have 11 disciplines here, all the disciplines we follow this. And then on the 5th, that is again on the 5th semester, we have interviews by them. Only the selected people who match their requirement, now they will be placed immediately, they go for the internship. Whoever is left behind, they are not completely left behind, again we groom, we give a bridge course, develop them further and they make them ready, and then they will be absorbed in the. If there are some more people who are left, then we put them into other streams, you know, and encourage them to take up other assignments. So this was the second move. Third is we have corporate mentors, we call it as corporate mentorship. We invite few of the senior people from the industry to mentor our students here. We have made them into groups, they come and give their best practices, the actual practical scenarios and groom them. The last but not the least and the most interesting thing what we are doing is, all what we are talking about is more of theory and all this. Finally, skill development can happen only by practicing it, giving a hands-on training. So that we call it as experiential learning. Every discipline goes through a project, that is a live project we give in the campus. Be it hotel management, they need to cook, all the functions are catered by our hotel management. Fashion design does all products and we sell the products. We have a e-commerce site of our own, and our computers department students maintain it, develop it and do the change management for it, and our management students do the marketing. So every discipline is integrated in this. We have a physio care clinic also here. So we give a actual experiential learning, that is hands-on training on live project. When they are in from the second semester itself, we provide this.
Amazing, madam. We are happy that the various initiatives have been taken, immersion, industry immersion, curriculum. You have ensured that industry academia gap is filled by various initiatives by Garden City University. As a leader in the industry and also now in the education sector, what is the challenge you see Indian education ecosystem, the kind of challenge and the gap, so that we overcome that and India becomes a global education hub?
Yeah, the first move I should say is the NEP itself, where they have opened up to curate the curriculum, and the focus is on skill development and entrepreneurship and innovation, and a
Special emphasis on the research innovation. That's a great thing which is happening. But as you rightly told, still we have a lot of challenges and hurdles to be faced. One of them is we need to encourage corporates to come forward rather than they themselves again make. We always have a training institute there itself. For the first 6 months, first 1 year in the industry we train. Rather than doing it in their campus, they should move forward and they should come. This collaboration should improve, and government also should help both our institutes like us as well as the corporates. Some incentives has to be provided, like our CSR in corporate social responsibility, how we are now it is more for a profit making company, but everywhere this also has to be there. Education should be a part of it. Education also should be emphasized, that how many institutes you are collaborating with. So this has to be taken up.
so then it becomes encouraged for institute like us to work. Always we say, if there is no experience, we do not want to take the child because they are not up to mark. How do you like, if you do not provide a swimming pool, how will the person learn swimming?
So a swimming pool has to be provided jointly by the government as well as the industry and corporates. So this is one of the approach I would strongly feel. As well, when we talk about the research part of it, research innovation needs lot of other facilities. The incubation centers and all need lot of it. There should be center for excellence, there should be laboratories. Now we need to do lot of innovations and research on life science related subjects, but where is such a lab with us? Government should have some lab. Now we have bio innovation centers in Bengaluru, but this is more for the entrepreneurs, but there isn't scope for children. The students do not have any place to go and do. If you do not have access to those type of testing equipments and other equipment, how will our children learn to do any innovation? So government have to have centralized excellence centers, such types of labs where all of our institutes can go and learn. That is what we from Garden City University can ask for. Thank you once again for you all, because this is a wonderful exercise you are doing. This is the way forward, and we are talking about transformation of life here, and this can happen by everybody, and you all are doing a great job here. Like what we talk now about in the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, quality education and industry entrepreneurship is the focus, and maybe this will, these type of activities will help us. Thank you once again for this splendid work what you're doing.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your views and also the kind of facilities that needs to be provided. And it's not just the responsibility of an industry, but government, industry and institution have to come together. Thank you so much for joining us.
So we have a repository of list of various societal problems which requires innovation from the young minds. If you look at Garden City University, we have through which they will be able to know what are the changes which are happening in the industry. Yeah, frog in a well. We want to move out of Garden City University. We want to, and we constantly innovate ways how we can able to ensure.
Hi, we are joined by Dr. Professor Sudhagar, who is the Dean Research for Innovation Council and also the Director for Internal Quality Assurance Cell, and also CEO for GCO Incubation Center in Garden City University in Bangalore from the state of Karnataka. Hello, Mr. Sudhagar. Thanks for joining us. You are heading this council and many of the positions in Garden City College. We would like to know the kind of innovative ecosystem that's been created for the students in this fast evolving ecosystem where industry skills and the market demand for the new age skills are much more and more. So you can let us know the kind of ecosystem that's been created in your campus or your university.
Definitely. If you look at the foundation of the innovation ecosystem at Garden City University is based on the problem faced specific to the geographical location Karnataka as well as to our nation. So we have a repository of list of various societal problems which requires innovation from the young minds. So this repository is shared with the students right from the time they join for an academic program. So before they graduate, they will be in a position to take one problem and come out with a solution that becomes as their one life. So the kind of support what we provide for the students as well as for the faculty member is, number one, if you look at Garden City University, is a multidisciplinary university. We have commerce department, we have management, we have hospitality management and catering technology, we have tourism, fashion and apparel design, media, psychology, physiotherapy, life sciences, languages and the forensic sciences as well. So this ecosystem provides an excellent opportunity for anyone to solve any societal problem without even stepping out of Garden City University campus. So first and foremost opportunity which is available for our students is like the people from 12 academic departments of Garden City University. The doors are open. They can walk into any department, discuss about the possible support which are required for the students in order to come out with the innovation. Number two, the support is called as the place wherein any infrastructure which is there in one department is provided to the student from other department. For example, a student from media studies can collaborate with a student from hospitality management to do some innovation related to the photography. The third thing which we strongly focus on is the process. We need to have a process wherein like we are strongly focusing on having a good network and collaboration among the students. Not just about reaching the innovation, but also we have created a center called as India's first incubation center called as the GCO Incubation Center, wherein we are trying to create innovation to meet the sustainable development goals set by United Nations, which needs to be achieved by 2030. So any student who is working on innovation, they can collaborate with the department, they can collaborate with the people, they can follow the process set by Garden City University and not just create innovation but also come out as a startup which will provide more entrepreneurship opportunities and also employment opportunities, finally building the economy for the nation. That's about it.
Wonderful. We would also like to know, Dr. Sudhagar, from you, the teaching faculty are the pillars of any educational institution, and in this fast evolving ecosystem they also have to be updated so that the kind of knowledge and the education they impart is up to date in this modern world. So what kind of best practices have been adopted by your university,
Right,
so that the teaching faculty in your university are up to date and are in sync with the modern world.
Absolutely. So if you look at Garden City University, we have a program called as Industry Refresher Program, wherein every faculty member at the end of the semester, they'll have to select the industry of their choice, or it could be an interdisciplinary industry. They'll have to go to the industry, work for a minimum of a week to maximum of a month, through which they will be able to know what are the changes which are happening in the industry and how they can able to understand the changes, so that those changes are taught to the students when they are in the campus itself. So this industry refresher program is helping the faculty members to refine the skills based on the changes which are happening in the industry, especially after COVID-19 pandemic. The complete product and services which are offered in the industry is changed. So it's very imperative that our faculty members are not just having the knowledge, but also they have the industry skills. Number two is we have collaboration with a lot of foreign universities. We really do not want to be a frog in a well. We want to move out of Garden City University. We want to associate with other institutions in India, other institutions in the foreign countries, which will help us to share the best practices in teaching, learning and evaluation. So our faculty members are provided with an opportunity to know the external world, so that they can able to provide the best teaching and the learning experience, and also the assessment for the students. The third thing is we have faculty development program, which is called as GISU Faculty Colloquium. Every week we will be taking the emerging topic which is in the higher education, and we have a colloquium wherein the faculty members from 12 academic departments come in under a common roof, and they discuss about the emerging issues which are there in their academics. Finally, they develop a strategy on how they can able to handle the challenges which are there in the higher education system. And also finally, like I also like to say that we have a lot of simulation activities for the faculty members to develop the best of teaching skills which is required for them, not to just create students who will able to find the employment, but also in the entrepreneurship front. So as faculty members, they are required to create innovation, they are required to create the startups. They'll have to experiment first at Garden City University, then it goes to the students. So they have a prior exposure on what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, what are the various challenges are there. So when they are going to the classroom, they are very, very confident to ensure that the students are accepting them as someone like who have the prior experience, and they are able to reach the effectiveness in the teaching learning. So these are some of the best practices. We have many practices, and we constantly innovate ways how we can able to ensure that each and every faculty member is updated with the emerging trends which are there in the academic institutions.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Sudhakar. We are glad the kind of initiatives and kind of workshops that are being created for the teaching faculty is amazing. Wonderful. We sure the benefits are going to the students.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us.
National education policy, because though India has a wonderful culture with respect to education, no doubts about it, can take up and do what they want to do in the future days to come. Long way to go for sure. That's how I would look at it. Looking at is our student has to be industry ready when they are moving out of our institution.
Hello, we are joined by yet another leader in the space of education from the Garden City University, Dr. Sija MS. She is the Controller of Examination with the Garden City University. Welcome, Dr. Sija, for joining us. We would like to know, in this, the National Education Policy 2020, some say it is groundbreaking, some say it is as good as it is implemented. And we would like to know, the Garden City University, how does it look at the NEP 2020 and how is it going to implement?
Yeah. Hi. First and foremost, we have already implemented the national education policy, because we are from Bangalore, and Karnataka is the first state to have implemented the NEP in true spirits. Yeah. So we being an institution in Karnataka, so we have already implemented, and I should make it a point that we were the first institution to have launched the NEP after the minister had announced that Karnataka is going to launch it, and we were the first institution to have launched it and had a conference based on NEP. So that's one thing. So then that itself makes it clear that we have welcomed it very well. And for Garden City University, we started operating as a university for the past from 2017.
though we are an institution that has a legacy of 30 years, we have started our operations as a university from 2017, and from then on we have been following the choice-based credit system that is introduced by UGC. And for all those universities who've been following the CBCS, I'm sure NEP would have been an easy phase, because this is a preparatory phase. That was a preparatory phase for us to start accepting NEP. So from the beginning we have had multiple things that NEP promotes, like talking about the multidisciplinary learning or giving a flexibility to students, talking about student-centric learning. All of this is something that we had already inculcated in our curriculum. So it became a little more easy for us to adapt and take it up the moment the NEP rule had, the policy had come in. So that's how I would talk about we adapting NEP as such.
Yeah. We would like to know you as a person in education sector for more than decades of experience.
Yes.
We would like to know, where does India stand in terms of the NEP 2020 implementation? What are the challenges you look at?
One of the challenge would obviously be for educators like us to accept this new policy, because there is a lot of traditional thought process that has been there. But if you look at the way NEP has been envisioned and the way it has been proposed, it surely is a gateway for a lot of learning for students. So as I already said, we are looking at student-centric learning, and that is the in thing today, because if we have to look at internationalization, if we have to look at many foreign university coming into our country, we have to start looking beyond what we have been offering. Though India has a wonderful culture with respect to education, no doubts about it, we are surely the pioneers, but then a slight tweaking in the thought process for sure is helpful, and that's what NEP is telling us. So it's much beyond just the curriculum, much beyond just the syllabus. It's much beyond all of this, wherein we need to start thinking about how we are crafting the future of students. And probably this is something that NEP is going to really provide to us. And as you must have read news is that the UGC chairman has already started putting across that many foreign universities have to come in. We are talking about mobility of students, so we are talking about horizontal mobility, we are talking about vertical mobility. So when you start talking about this, what we need to understand is we are making the entire education a global scenario. It becomes easy for a student who is having a different thought process. They can start studying in one particular institution, they can go on to specialize in another institution. So all this flexibility that NEP has come up with is obviously a welcome change. So that's how I would look at the future, and I would look at the possibilities that students can take up and do what they want to do in the future days to come. Long way to go for sure. That's how I would look at it.
So Dr. Srija, we would also like to know, how is Garden City University, you have mentioned about the stand and the take of NEP, and how is Garden City University implementing NEP 2020?
Yeah, to again come back, first of all, we have ensured that our students get a better exposure with respect to multiple areas that NEP is concentrating, and with respect to implementation of NEP, one of the main points that is emphasized is skill-based learning. So that is something that we have taken in true spirits, and we have ensured that every student in our institution goes through a practical skill-based learning, and one of the best ways of introducing it is by giving an internship to students in their final semester. That's one of point that we have emphasized, so that when what we are looking at is our student has to be industry ready when they are moving out of our institution. So taking up the value-based learning concept, the skill-based learning concept, we have ensured introducing all of this, and also have multiple programs that are initiated to see how our students can develop, let's say, an entrepreneurial ability or a research ability, or any kind of a talent that they would like to showcase and nurture. We are trying to provide all of this at our university, and thanks to NEP for all of this, the way it has come by to us. That's how I would put it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Srija, for sharing how Garden City University is implementing NEP 2020, and also your stand, I would say your take on NEP 2020. We're glad to know there is a futuristic vision with Garden City University and its administration.
And we would like to take it forward.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sudheer, for joining us.
So I wish that youngsters are now need not look back to ideas which they can patent and become on their own CEOs of many companies. And when it comes for the message to the youngsters, outcome-based educational platforms which are available, and along with that, I am very much thankful to IndiGlobal Media Network.
And today we are joined by leader in the education space of our country, a well-known name, the Vice Chancellor of Garden City University, Professor G.R. Naik. So we'll get to know more. Namaskar, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Sir, we would like to know, many of our viewers who look up to their career, their profession and their future, what would be your message as a leader in this, as a leader in the field of education?
Thank you. It is a very good question. I am very much thankful to IndiGlobal Media Network for organizing the global event as well as for very important EduTalk. And when it comes for the message to the youngsters, I want to say that our country is looked by the entire world as a country of young people. Demographic advantage is there. The only way by which our country can become superpower in the entire world is through the education, skill development and innovative ideas that will be drawn by our youngsters. It is a time now where all the youngsters who are in the higher education system in the country have got an opportunity to take advantages of many things which are happening around us. Particularly, all the higher education institutions now are at the verge of a very important step by which they are seeing that the youngsters become all round. They have lot of skills oriented towards new technologies, particularly the digital technologies. And not only that, because of the availability of information from various sources, resources like social medias or platforms which are given by the various institutes on online mode, many things which are happening because of the collaboration between industry and many universities together, joint degree programs, industry academia partnership, skill improvement programs, and not only that, whatever is there ignited in their mind is being nurtured by the policies of the government. And many philanthropists are also coming forward to nurture such things and help the youngsters. So it is a very important time, in fact I can say golden opportunity for the youngsters to look around and take advantage of the things which are around them and capture them to have a successful life. I have never seen such opportunities in my students' days, or I can see even to those who were there just a decade back as a student. Now things have changed, particularly because of the COVID pandemic. The situation has become in such a way that students are now considered as the main stakeholders of the entire progress of the world. Sustainability, for example, depends on how youngsters look to the things which are around them. Educational things have been made in such a way that everything what they want depending on their choice is available. Skills in many things they can take when they are pursuing one degree, and they can take skills from other degrees. So choice based credit system, outcome based educational platforms which are available, and along with that the institutes with infrastructure and very good talented teachers are coming forward. And all these things, particularly in the era of technology, are the one which is on which they can build their entire career. So I wish that youngsters are now need not look back. With the facilities, with the technology, with the opportunities, they can just march ahead and conquer their whatever aim is there and become a successful either an entrepreneur or a employable person or a innovative ideas which they can patent and become on their own CEOs of many companies. They can stand on their own through the way by which the education is imparted. I wish this is the time they should take advantage and come with all the feathers in their life.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us for this your time and sharing your message for the youngsters.
Thank you very much.